Up next, we're going to dive into DARPA's Young Faculty Award Program. The goal of the YFA program is to engage researchers in junior faculty positions for DARPA and broader defense programs. Let's welcome Chris Bettinger to the stage to tell us more.
Good to be with you all again. It's a pleasure to see everyone. So my name is Chris. I'm a program manager in the Biological Technologies Office, and I think I'm uniquely qualified to talk about the YFA opportunity because I think I'm the first one that actually received the YFA award as a faculty member and the first one to give one out as a PM. So I've seen literally both sides of this exact process. And so what better way to talk about the YFA than to use the Heidelberg Catechism, right? Let's just drill that into your heads a little more this afternoon. So let's talk about H1. And what is the YFA, right? So the YFA is basically a 2-year project where we give out sort of seedling level funding to new investigators, not necessarily at academic institutions, but typically at that's the flavor. Could be at companies, could be at other, FFRDCs, things like that. So basically you're at some institution and you're a young investigator and there's the qualifications are all on the opportunity of what qualifies as a young investigator. But we basically then allow you to explore an interesting new scientific domain that we choose that is of interest to DARPA, right? And so H2, right? How is it done today in other domains? So if you look at other kinds of Young Faculty Award applications, they often have the following characteristics. They're often just essentially a beauty prize, right? Where it's like someone that seems like they're doing well, let's give them more money. And like, how could you go wrong, right? Great idea, right? Love it, like totally valid. Unfocused topics, a lot of times just send me your idea, like great, that's fantastic, like we'll take it, off we go. And unsupervised, right? So check goes out the door, right? From your favorite funding agency, investigator gets it. And then that's essentially the end of the relationship, right? So what does DARPA do differently? We do a few things. The first is we offer, it's more of I would characterize a high touch engagement where we have quarterly meetings with my YFA awardees and we talk about the research, and we also offer connections to other DoD funding opportunities. So it's really a mutual investment, people investing their time on our projects and us investing our time into what we think is going to be an investigator that could contribute to future programs, ARCs, disruption hearing efforts, et cetera. So that's an important distinction. Also, as opposed to being unfocused, the DARPA YFA has specific topics that come out every single year, right? And so those are not evergreen topics. They come out and they go away. And again, the way to think about this is almost like a job application, right? Where it exists in time and space and time, and then it will very likely go away the next year. So that's, again, another just distinction than compared to some of the other opportunities. So let's talk a little bit more about like who cares, right? Well, first of all, we, right, and myself, right, as a DARPA program manager, I care, right? Because if I put out a topic to the community, I am getting a lot of cool ideas from younger investigators who may have more optimism and sort of more fanciful ideas, right? So it's an interesting way to think about what's kind of looking, what's over the horizon a little bit, right? So that's an important set of information in the context of awareness that we're getting. So we care about that. And then, of course, the recipients of the award should care because they get money, right? And they get connections, and they get insight, right? A lot of things that you all learned here today in terms of how we think about problem sets, how we execute, right? Our sort of ethos, right? They're learning that throughout their 2-year, 2 possibly 3-year project, right? And so that is again in a sort of in broad terms, kind of the YFA program. I will say just a few more things. Again, the topics come and go. And that's because the programs come and go, right? So, as things shift, as the world evolves, the topics dynamically change to reflect the interest both now and future, right, of the program managers. So it's really a composite interest of the program managers, that are kind of, we're taking flyers on certain things that could lead to other bigger things, right? So, so one maybe little like life hack here is you can pull out the YFA topics, right, and then make inferences about other things that are going on in the different tech offices by just seeing what's in the YFA topics, right? So it's really kind of a quick download of and a little snapshot of kind of the cross section of a mind of some subset of program managers across all the tech offices. So that's the little inside baseball there for you. And then maybe I'll close with again my own experiences. So again, I'm a professor, so I am a professor technically, and I think the YFA really like that's actually why I became a PM, right? Because I was like, I had so much fun on the project, and it was technically kind of a mixed bag, but just the process, the tempo, the problem set, the service, the commitment to service, those are all like, I like every single one of those things, and that was all like really amazing. And then that's actually why I ended up sort of coming over to the PM side and had an amazing time thus far. So I'll stop there because I know I'm between you and coffee, and so I'll get us back on time actually. So if any other questions about the YFA program, I'll be out near the coffee pot there. Cool. All right. See ya.
Thank you, Chris. Attendees, as Chris mentioned, at this time, let's take a 30-minute break to network and refresh. We've got plenty of coffee. For those of you here in person, please be sure to drop by and meet our regional partners and check out all the great resources they can share with you as well. We'll reconvene at 2:50 for our next session. Thank you.